Good morning. Ugh, who could that be? Weber? What are you doing here?
Wilson! They turned us into a board game, Wilson!
Wait, what are you talking about?
Ah!
Yes, everybody, the board game for Don't Starve is coming. Every day, the release date creeps closer and closer. But thanks to me partnering with Glass Cannon Unplugged, I've been given a top secret confidential beta version of the board game. And guess what? They've given me the green light to absolutely spoil the entirety of it. Today I'm going to unbox the official Don't Starve board game, showcase and teach you how to play the Don't Starve board game, and even run a match with Sky to see if two noobs can beat the Don't Starve board game. Man, I'm so hyped. Alright, let's break open this bad boy. First, they sent me a whole box of delicious packing peanuts, but I'm not hungry yet, so I put those on the side, and then out came some boats. These would be responsible for holding the various tokens and cards that the game has. Before finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, I pull out this beautiful creation, the Don't Starve board game. Now, let's unbox the box that I just unboxed. Whoo boy, here we go. Right off the bat, we have a rule book, a standard in board game technology, which hopefully after this video you won't have to read yourself, because, you know, I'm gonna explain it. All to the best of my abilities, of course. Me, I'm gonna read it many times. Next, we have the crafting book. This little bad boy holds all of your crafted items, and it's what you reach for whenever you do crafting within the game. Next, we got this fancy little box with all of the little figurines of the playable characters. Now, despite these being the 4 playable characters currently, these appear to be decorational and not actually associated with the game itself, since there are actually character standees that are used instead for the board game. Still, these things are sick, and you can tell that they are high quality. They've got some weight on them, and as a fun fact, the deluxe edition of the board game will also come with monster miniatures, as you can see on screen now. Oh yeah, and the actual characters may look a little more polished and official on release. Next, we've got base structures. Now, my board only came with 5 of them: a sapling, a grass tuft, a siesta lean-to, a fire pit, and a science machine. All of these are obviously quite important, and they will play a heavy role in the base portion of the game, which is supposedly going to be receiving more to it on the official release board, gaining its own entire stage round. Unfortunately, this was not available in the demo, which gave Sky and I a bit of a hiccup in our playthrough, but I'll explain it to the best of my abilities when we get to it. The next thing of interest I found was character cards. Of the 4 currently available characters, all 4 have unique abilities, which is very nice. The next thing is the character standees. I already mentioned these earlier, but this includes our 4 main protagonists, as well as the florid postern and a shadow eye. The florid postern and shadow eye are particularly interesting, but they'll mostly serve as markers for certain locations and/or stages. Next up, we have the nightmare cards. Each of these have a familiar nightmare-related foe, and this gives us a little bit of a glimpse into the combat system of the game as well, which is actually pretty fun and unique. Speaking of combat, here we have some biome cards. So far, there appears to be 4 main biomes in the board game: grassy land, rocky, swamp, and forest, with a multitude of sub-biomes. This is something that may or may not change in the future iterations of the board. There's still an absolutely massive amount of variety with this alone though, and as you can see, each sub-biome comes with its own features and mobs. Next, we have what appears to be handy-dandy little round structure cards for each player to reference off of mid-game, without having to pull out that giant clunky rulebook mid-game, which is very nice. Again, don't worry, I'll be going over all of these phases really soon. Alright, next up we have something that will look very familiar to those of you who actually play the real game, you know, like me, crafted items. There's a whole lot of them, and they even included my very favorite item in the entire game. Woohoo! Too bad it's not entirely useful because this beta board doesn't have a summer scenario and only has winter right now, but those of you at home may get to find a use for it when the board does release to the public. Next up, we've got some really funky looking dice. These are actually monster dice, and it's what the monster creatures will roll when you engage in combat or hostility with them. Each symbol means a different thing that the monsters will do to you. Similarly, the player dice are what you will roll whenever you either engage in combat or interact with the world. The roll decides your outcome, much like most other board games, with certain numbers and symbols meaning different things. The next thing I'm pulling out of this box here is the weather cards. Now, like I said, currently all I have access to are winter cards, but I'm sure it's safe to assume the full release will have the other titular seasons like autumn, spring, and summer. Let me tell you now though that these things are punishing. Thankfully, you don't have to deal with the weather effects that often. Now we can move on to the actual board part of this board game. We have this cute little day counter looking thing that's actually meant to track how many turns you have left during the action phase, as well as telling you if it's night or daytime. We have health and hunger and sanity meters for each character, as well as underneath all of these pieces, I also found this bag of mysterious clear cuboid objects. Clearly these will be very important going forward. Next up, we've got these big ol' pieces right here. Inventory slots, the phase counter, and most of every item in the game. Hold on, give me 1 second, I'm gonna pop all of these out real quick, and whew. That was satisfying, but I also hate myself for that because now I've got to set this board up and these pieces are everywhere. So with the power of editing, here it is. This, my friends, is the Don't Starve board game all set up and ready to be played. But hold on, how do you play the Don't Starve board game? Well, let's talk about that. If you haven't been keeping up with the board game information religiously like I have, let me first go over the basics. The Don't Starve board game is a 1 to 4 player board game. Yes, that shocked me as well. You can actually play this board game solo if you so wished, and it's completely cooperative. You won't have to worry about ruining your friendships like Monopoly, and instead you can help build them, while getting absolutely destroyed by the creatures of the constant. Yeah, this game's meant to capture the brutality of the real game, which we all know is rather unforgiving. This game is also jam-packed with content and replayability. Now, I won't be able to show it off live in my playthrough, but there is going to be a way to upgrade your home base in between every scenario, meaning this game can quite literally last forever. You can go on as long as you like and play between many different scenarios to unlock new structures, items, and even cooking recipes. Again, I won't be able to actually show this feature because it's not available in the beta board, but it's worth it to talk about since it's going to be a huge feature of the live version of the game. Before we start this how to play segment, I do have to remind you guys that this is a beta board. And while I doubt it will change much, it still absolutely is subject to change in the future. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go over setup. So first, general setup. This will be something you do once and then depending on your storage situation, never have to do again. First, find all of your map cards, shuffle them independently of their respective biome type, and place them into these little boats right here. Next, do the same thing but with all of the item tiles. And finally, set up your crockpot station like this. Now in this beta, I only have 3 crockpot foods available: beefy greens, meatballs, and fruit medley, and the live board will have a total of 6 according to the rulebook, and they may have to be unlocked in the base round. Finally, find your crafting book and place every single crafted item there, and please, for your own sake, find a way to make this reachable by your entire party. It's going to get used by every player a lot. Alright, now that the general setup is over, let's talk about the full board setup. This is something you'll most likely have to do every time you want to play a game of the Don't Starve board game. Unless you're crazy and set up like a dedicated Don't Starve board game table, which I'm not gonna blame you, this game's pretty cool. First, look through your cardboard map tiles until you find one with the florid postern symbol on it. This is your central home base tile, so place it center of your board, and then look for 2 fancy tiles. This right here is a more detailed version of the home base tile, and it's only accessible to players who are standing on the florid postern tile. Now, when it comes to the structures you choose to build on your home base tile, you'll all have to agree on your first 3 structures, and I won't be going over each of them in this video because they are slated to be receiving an overhaul. Regardless, make sure this home base tile is reachable by everyone since it's a universal tile. Now find this strange looking tile. This is your rounds board. It conveniently tells you the structure of the game and will help you keep track of what round you are on. Now it's time for personal setup. Find yourself an inventory tile. It should look like this because it allows you to hold item tiles. And then comes the hard part, choosing your character. And here are your choices. Weber with 9 health, 9 hunger, 5 sanity, and 2 focus. I'll explain focus a little later, I promise, it's pretty simple. He can eat meat with no sanity penalty, spiders are neutral towards him, and pigs are hostile. He gains access to a silky beard which can provide silk and sanity when shaved, with an axe because razors don't exist in this game, or warmth when not shaved. And finally, he can befriend spiders with meat to use them as meat shields during combat, and deny 2 of the enemy's rolls. How fun. Oh yeah, and Weber also starts with 2 silk. Wendy has 7 health, hunger, and sanity, and 2 focus. She starts with 2 morning glory and has access to 3 of her signature elixirs to buff Abigail in different ways. She suffers a -1 combat value, which means all monsters will roll an extra monster dice against her. making exploring and combat more dangerous, but she also has access to Abigail, who will help her fight and will protect her from taking damage while exploring at the cost of her own health. Wendy does not lose sanity from nighttime sanity loss, and she will gain more morning glory if she participates in a fight and wins. Willow has 8 health, 8 hunger, and 6 sanity, and 3 focus. She also has access to her signature lighter. This fancy little thing allows her to gain embers, which can be used in combat to increase winning odds, or used during the needs and weather phase to keep characters warm or within light. And finally, my boy Wilson. With 8 health, 8 hunger, and 8 sanity, and 3 focus, Wilson starts as default as they come with nothing. He gets access to his beard, which will provide him copious amounts of warmth, and when shaved will provide him sanity and grass for some reason, and he gets access to transmutation, allowing him to merge 2 resources to gain 1 of any other resource and restore 1 sanity each time, which is pretty garbanzo and epic sauce. Okay, so for this setup we'll be picking Wilson, but your board will look somewhat different if you pick any other character. You'll place your stat tile like this onto your inventory tile, and then you'll place your status tile, which was a part of that giant cardboard pop-out thing I unboxed right over there. Now, this status tile is just a way to tell the other players your turn is up. Me and Sky forget to flip it a lot in our playthrough, but yeah, it's there. It's kind of extra, but if you want to be in the full roleplay aspect of it, then you get tired after every round. Okay, now let's finally get the scenario started and get into the actual meat of this board game. The only scenario I currently have access to is the Pig King's Feast, but your scenario may call for a different map layout. Either way, here's how you'll lay your map out. You grab the amount of map tiles your scenario card says, in my case it's 3 forest, 3 plains, 2 rocky, and 2 swamp, and shuffle them face down so you can't see them. Then place them all face down in the way your scenario card says, and boom, there's your map. To get the finishing touches before we start, don't forget your character standee here, your florid postern on your base tile, which funny enough, they actually use the beta version of the florid postern. I wonder if that'll change to the live version on the actual board game. Either way, remember that shadow eye? That, my friends, is your round marker. It marks whether it's daytime and how many rounds you have left. In my version of the board game, there are 3 difficulty levels: normal, hard, and nightmare, marked by how dark the daily needs tiles are, which again, were a part of that giant cardboard cutout that I conveniently just cut everything out of. Today's game will be played on normal difficulty because I'm not insane. Now it's time to talk about the stages and go over a few things that I skipped earlier. The first stage is called the preparation stage, and this stage is as simple as it gets. Basically, you use this stage to do everything you need to do to counter or survive the previous stages, like the weather effects, daily needs, all that jazz. This round is skipped on your first turn because obviously there's nothing to prepare for, and you'll have nothing. So let's move on to phase 2. Phase 2 is the action phase. Here, each player is given their turns. You all get 6 turns until this phase ends, and you take each turn consecutively. So like one person does 1 turn, the other person does 1 turn, and then you move on to the next consecutive turn. That kind of deal. Once we're done with this phase, we get into the more punishing phases. The action phase, however, is as simple as this. You can move, explore, interact, fight, or trade. Each of these will take up your action for the turn. However, there are a few free actions that won't use up your turn. For example, you can craft, cook, eat, and swap your inventory around whenever. There is no limit to these last 4 actions, and they can even be done in preparation for something bad like a mass spoilage event. Yes, you can just shove all that food down your throat to prevent spoilage, it's pretty great. But let's go ahead and talk about the big boy actions. So, move means to move to an already explored biome. This can be done once for free and gives you an extra turn to do one of the other actions. However, moving twice will use up your entire turn, and you are not able to move after doing one of the other turns. It only works one way around. You can't just do an interact and then do a move right after. It doesn't work like that, guys. Come on now. Exploring is interesting and will most likely be the first thing you do. You move to a flipped over map tile, reveal it, and then draw a corresponding card. If the creature that inhabits this card is hostile, signified by a red background on its token, or attack bar on its biome card, then it will engage in hostility against you, where it will roll 1 monster die and attempt to hit you. Hostility is treated interestingly in this game, so let's branch off and talk about that for a second. When a creature is hostile, it will attack you under certain conditions. 1 time when you explore their biome for the first time, and then whenever you do an interact action on any tile with a mean looking eye thing. This means that if you were to say run into a hound while exploring, it will roll one monster die and try to attack you, but only one die, contrary to its combat phase where it will roll multiple dice. The damage that the creature does is shown with the scratch symbol on the biome card, and if you roll the scratch symbol, then you will take that amount of damage. If you don't roll a scratch symbol, then you don't get hit, but you're not out of jail yet. There are still 2 other monster values that they can obtain on their rolls. The purple feature is the special attack, and it allows them to use, well, their special attack. If they roll enough, that is. In the Hound's case, he would only need 1, and it would instead attack your sanity rather than your health, opening you to having to deal with sanity creatures. But in the Mosquito's case, for example, it would need to roll 2 specials, making it impossible for it to hit you with a special during the hostility action since it only rolls once. The third value is the dodge value, which is what you want to roll during hostility actions, since it only affects you during combat, not hostility, and it will essentially be a wasted roll for the monster. Makes sense? Hopefully. It took me like an hour to figure this out. Oh yeah, also exploring will reward you with whatever resources on the back of the biome card, and when you first explore a biome, you are going to set one of those small little cuboids of ancient wisdom on the middle of the fertility tracker, which is on the side of your map tile. I'll explain this with the next action because it directly correlates with the next action. The next action in question is the interact action. This allows you to gather resources from map tiles and also roll to gather more. It's pretty self-explanatory. Some things may also trigger hostility if you have that weird eye thing, which means you must roll another attack dice from the resident monster. But otherwise, even if the monster is hostile, you won't have to roll hostility again. Like the real game, some resources will also require that you have the appropriate crafted item, like a pickaxe for boulders or a trap for rabbit holes. Be aware that interacting will lower the fertility of the biome, and every single interact will lower it by 1. Once your clear cuboid reaches the dead leaf symbol, that biome is plundered and you will no longer be able to interact with anything in that biome. This can only be reversed by getting lucky with the weather phase, so be very careful and only use what you need to use. And now we move on to the combat phase. This is what you use if you wish to attack the creature that inhabits a certain biome. Now, combat in this game is unforgiving and it's an RNG based game, a lot like Dungeons and Dragons. You roll to defeat the enemy and there is no health value for your enemy. You either win or you lose. However, the enemy will still do full damage to you regardless of if you win or lose. On the biome card, you can see the monster's damage and special attack. I already went over that in the hostility phase. But now let's talk about that sword symbol. No, that's not health, that's amount of rolls. That's right, that means that a beefalo will roll 8 entire dice if you make the mistake of attacking it. Having the capability of doing 2 damage a hit makes this mistake fatal most of the time. Now, combat isn't as hopeless as I made it sound. Obviously, you can prepare yourself for combat with a few of the different equipment items available. There's armor, weapons, and head slot gear. Some armor blocks a flat amount of damage like the football helmet or the grass suit, and some blocks entire attacks like the marble armor. And some weapons block enemy rolls. If an equipment says -1 sword, that means the enemy rolls 1 less dice, which yes, means that the fencing sword is actually an upgraded spear in the board game, unlike its in-game counterpart where it's kind of a meme item. So that's pretty cool. To win a combat scenario, you need to have more yellow stars than the enemy has dodge rolls. If the enemy outdodges your yellow stars, you lose. Sometimes the enemy gives you a pity reward for losing though, as can be seen on the bottom bar of the top right of the biome card. Winning will get your top bar reward though, and if you win a fight, then the creature will be slain, and will no longer trigger hostility against you if it normally would have. Creatures can respawn if you get certain weather events. Trading is, okay, this is gonna be embarrassing, but apparently sharing items between each other counts as an action. And in me and Sky's playthrough at the end of this segment, you'll see us do a lot of illegal trading, sort of invalidating this run. But hey, it's a beta. I'm not trying to become the most cracked Don't Starve board game player ever. I'm just trying to be among the first to actually cover it and help one of you become the world's most proficient Don't Starve board gamer. It's unfortunately not the only thing we forget about as we skip the entirety of the scenario phase on accident, which I'll explain later. But yeah. When you see us sharing resources that's supposed to take up one of our turns, but we don't let it take up one of our turns because we're a bunch of stinky cheaters. I want to make it clear though that this isn't the fault of the game developers. It clearly states this on the rulebooks. I just must have missed it like a silly little goober that I am. I don't know, I'm stupid, guys. Once all players have used up all 6 action points in their 6 rounds that they did consecutively, then you will move on to the next phase of the game, the Shadow phase. If any character went under the threshold for sanity creatures, they would have had to draw a corresponding sanity card. Here is where they will have to deal with the creature and attack it, or be attacked by it. These guys can be pretty devastating, so I suggest you keep your sanity above the threshold as often as possible. If nobody has any sanity cards, then you can safely skip this phase. Next is the daily needs phase. This phase takes a count of your hunger drain, sanity drain, and in the case of nighttime, your light need. Daytime obviously requires no light and sometimes won't even drain your sanity, but if you are on a night segment, you will need light. Hunger in this game works a lot like the real game. If you reach 0 and go under 0, then you take damage. Usually 2 health for every point of hunger under 0 that you have, which can be pretty devastating when you only have single-digit health. But the even more devastating thing is light. If you don't have light at the end of a night phase, you will be attacked by Charlie, who deals a whopping 5 damage for every missing point of light. Yeah, that's a run ender right there, so make sure that you're either at base near a campfire at night, or you have a torch with you and the twigs to fuel it. In true Don't Starve fashion, the next event is only here to harm you even more. The weather phase introduces one of those special weather cards that I talked about earlier. Now again, I only have access to winter cards, which means I won't be interacting with overheating at all. However, it should be similar to winter's freezing, just without the hunger loss, and instead adding spoilage like the wetness does. To put things basically, you sum up the current symbols and your current resistances and take damage accordingly. Early game, this isn't as devastating as you only factor the symbols before the lightning bolt, but the longer you take to survive the scenario, the harder it will become. Once you pass the lightning bolt, as stated by your difficulty level card, you will take the full force of the weather card, which, by the way, the damage is cumulative, and it will go up to a insta-kill if you take 4 snowflakes without any resistances. Thankfully, there are plenty of ways to keep yourself warm, so it's not too bad, but you've got to prepare. Each weather card also has its own special effect as well, and it can be good, alright, or downright run-ending. The good effect is regrowth, shown by 2 leaf symbols. This will reset all of the fertility markers to full on all explored map tiles, letting you exploit them even more. The alright effect is monster respawn, which will respawn all defeated monsters on the map, and the awful effect is the spoil all effect, which will spoil all of your non-crockpot food. This one hurts a lot. But remember, you can also eat your food before it spoils, so it's not entirely terrible. The next and final phase before we reset is the scenario phase. Now, here is where you are supposed to resolve all of your scenario cards and progress through the story. However, me and Sky kind of forgot about this phase and kind of just did the scenario as we went. I had assumed that you could just do it at home base, but whoops. Oh well. After this phase, you move your action bar to the next round and start the cycle all over again. Speaking of scenarios though, how do you win or lose the Don't Starve board game? Well, there's 3 lose conditions and only 1 win condition. You will lose the game entirely if all players have died and cannot revive at the meat effigy. Now, how the meat effigies work is kind of a mystery to me, as they aren't explained in the rules book, so I assume you start with one since there's only 1 token, or more likely once the home base phase is added, you'll be able to build them on that phase. You will also lose the game if you run out of time. You only have 6 rounds. If you pass 6, then that's a game over. It's marked by the daily needs tiles. And finally, you can also lose if the scenario card specifically says that you lose, or introduces its own fail condition. The only way to win the Don't Starve board game is to complete your scenario or story mission. And that's all the basics down. Before we start, I want to talk about a few things I skipped over though. First, your armor and tools are not invincible. They can be broken if you roll the corresponding symbols for them breaking. Their breakage symbol is shown on the top right of their card. Or in the case of armor, it will break if the enemy rolls that symbol. If the item has an X, like the honey poultice, that simply means it's used when consumed. Also, I didn't really cover focus tokens, so here. It's as simple as this. You can spend a focus token to re-roll either yours or an enemy's roll. That's it. And you can regain focus if you keep your hunger high, with the amount signified on your hunger bar. And finally, if the game tells you to mark something, you will use those little white cuboid objects. Pretty nifty. Okay, now let's get into the part you've all been waiting for. Let's see if Sky and I can actually beat the Don't Starve board game. This will obviously be edited down for your convenience since it took us about 2 hours, and I'm sure you guys don't want to watch 2 hours of us just doing this over and over again. But if you want to watch it entirely unedited because you're crazy like that, then be sure to head over to my extras channel where it will be uploaded, and subscribe to that. Now, let's begin. So our goal is to defeat the Feast of the Pig King, which is the only scenario available during the beta, which I currently have. So, we will attempt to defeat the Pig King. So our characters today are going to be Weber and Wilson. Now, do you have your character cards?
Yes.
Where are my character cards?
I don't know. Where'd you put them?
Where did my character cards go?
See, I set at my station.
So, first off, we have to set up our day count. So we get 6 days to try to beat the Pig King's Feast. If you would please, go ahead and give me... Put this... Oh wait, that's the wrong type of day. No, that's the right type of day. That day, then that night, and then that day, that night. So, basically, we are playing normal mode right now, so that gives us 1 day, 2 nights, and then after the storm starts, which increases the weather effects, we will get 2 days and 1 night. Our base setup that we currently have is the campfire, the grass, and the saplings. Now, how the base works is you guys probably can't see this, but we have the essence bar at the bottom here. And when we're at base, we can spend our essence to either grab a free sapling or a free grass. So that should be fun. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Feast of the Pig King, 500A. We have to shuffle all map tiles and place them as shown on the image in 500B, and then have the werepigs and guardian pigs within hand's reach, which we do. So 500B, this is our scenario. Our map is going to look like this. We have 3 forests, 3 meadows, 2 rock biomes, and 2 swamps. And there we go. That is our map. I'm gonna go ahead and take our first Pig King card. Here we go. We are beginning the Feast of the Pig King. I think I said that already. You whoosh through the portal and blink at the light. Before you, the Pig King reclines in delight. His subjects set tables, the banners hang high. A grand night of feasting is now drawing nigh. Our customs are ancient, his plumpness insists. You'll host this affair, no use to resist. Since you've just arrived, the task falls to you. The food must be perfect, so see the job through. In turn, he should grant you some nuggets of gold. You've struck stranger bargains, if truth must be told. This is our home base tile, and this is where all of our events are going to happen. We need to beat this to win the game, before we run out of time or both of us end up dying. A circle of totems stands tall and burns bright to fend off the darkness that governs the night. Within all, pig folk shall shortly convene. The guffaw and gorge upon morsels obscene. So we have to spend food and or resources listed on 503, which is the bill of fare, and we have to place scenario markers on their matching empty spaces. So here is the bingo card that we have to defeat. We have to get a mosquito sack, seeds, batwing, radish, moleworm, pomegranate, frog leg, big fish, and a honey. We need to get, since there's 2 players, we need to get 2 bingos. So any 2 lines here, and we will win this card right here. Every time we get a bingo, we will gain 1 gold purse. So once we get 2 bingos, we get 3 hunger, 3 sanity, and we move on to the next round. There is also this card, which is based on the amount of players here. So for each resolved pig effect, we will move the scenario marker 1 space towards the end. And once we reach the end, we will reveal card 506. Now, right here are our space markers, and we are playing 2 players, so we start back here. If we make it to this space right here on this, then we will go ahead and move over to 506. Again, this might be off screen for you guys. Trust me, it's still there. It's not going anywhere, I promise. So we're going to begin our first turn. Now you have the day counter set to 6. We get 6 turns, and then we move on to the shadow phase. And I'll go ahead and explain that if we get to the shadow phase and there's somebody who has lower sanity. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and explore right here. So I'm going to flip this over. And I ended up in a grassy land biome. So if you could please hand me a grassy land card. All right, so because I am the first to explore this, I get a free seed. And I come across a mole worm. Now, because mole worms are hostile creatures, I actually do have to roll and the mole worm will attack me. However, the mole worm doesn't have an attack. He instead has the ability to steal items from me if I roll a purple on this fancy little dice. I think I showed this off a little earlier in the video, so hopefully you guys will know what's going on here. Anyways, we'll do a special roll. Hopefully I don't get him, and he does the special on me, so I lose my seeds. Awesome. My seeds are gone. Cool. I get nothing from that run. And now my turn's over.
Okay, I've got forest. So it's
So you pull a forest card.
graveyard. So I get 1 free flint.
1 free flint. Look at you.
And I got a spider. So
so you
even
could,
better.
if you get meat, you can tame that spider. So now it is my turn again. I can either interact here, but if you see that little eye there, that means the moleworm will attack me back. Now that we've discovered this area, the moleworm won't attack us again until we do one of these actions. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and walk away, and I'm gonna go down here. We're gonna explore this area. Rocky Land. Ooh, this could be good. Hand me a Rocky Land card. I got some flint. As long as I don't get a moleworm, I'll be fine. Here we go. I got a tall bird.
Oh, a tall bird.
Okay, that does 3 damage. If I roll bad, that's gonna hurt. Now, when you get these acts of aggression, you only roll once, but if I were to attack the tall bird would roll 5 times. So attacking things is a lot more dangerous than being attacked. And unfortunately, the tall bird did attack me. Now, I could accept that defeat, or I can use one of my insight points here and re-roll. Now, that will cost me one of these, and I won't get this back until next turn, but I think that's worth it, because 3 damage is a lot for the start of the game. And good, he did a special, nope, never mind. Wait, no, it's not. But why is there a new thing this game throws at me every single time? Hold on, guys. Technical difficulties, I gotta pull out the book. Maybe, oh, that might be his nighttime. That's his nighttime special. He has a nighttime special. Why'd they give the tall bird a nighttime special? So he doesn't have any special attack, which means I get out of this event scot-free, but I did have to use a reroll. So now I won't get that back until the next round.
Now it's my turn.
Yes.
I'm also going to explore a little bit more, and I'm gonna go this way. Alright, got another forest. Oh wait, no, that's meadows. Grassy land.
You got meadows.
I get free seeds.
Now, bees are neutral, so you don't have to worry about the bee attacking you.
4 now.
Okay, so now we're at 4. We are using up a lot of our first day here, and we haven't even gotten a single resource that we actually need. I'm gonna go ahead and explore to the left here. I got another rocky land. Okay. I got a flint. Another tall bird. Seriously.
Oh, no way.
Okay, awesome. That's actually not very awesome. It is what it is. All right, let's roll. Let's see if this tall bird damages me. Yes, okay.
Nice.
I got a dodge. That means the tall bird did not actually damage me, and I get out of that scot-free with my flint. Yay.
I will also travel a little bit more. Or, no, travel. I'm gonna go down here, flip it around, got forest. Forest, ooh, free pomegranate.
Oh.
And
a spider warrior.
Yeah, but spider, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, you could get an army up there, I think, if you get some meat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for my next round, I'm gonna do something a little controversial, okay? I'm actually gonna head back to base. This gives me well, it would give me an extra turn because it was just a move. However, I'm going to use my turn to take a sapling out of our house, which loses us an essence point from our house. You guys can't see that, it's probably off screen, but we lost an essence point from our house, and now I got a twig. Now, if you could hand me the crafting book, please.
Yeah.
I can now, from this crafting book, so I have made myself a pickaxe. I lost 1 flint and 1 twig. Here's the recipe book back. Flint is gone, twigs are gone. However, I now have a pickaxe. That's my turn done, yes.
Sweet. So I am now going to take some resources from that forest biome. So I get a free twig, and then if I roll, I can get a grass if I roll 4 or 5. So we're going to take that twig. And then, where's my dice? There it is. The sun.
Okay, you got the sun. So the sun is a special roll. Because it's daytime, you can actually pick any number between 0 and 5.
So clearly I'm going to pick 5 because then I get a grass.
There you go.
Bring this down because we used some materials. I'm going to take my dice back. And then that takes us down to 2.
What I'm going to now do is I'm going to head back to this biome here. Now the tall bird won't attack me because I've already explored. The tall bird's not going to attack me unless I go and attack it. I'm going to mine the gold vein. So mining the gold vein gives me a rock right off the bat. However, I can roll for some extra stuff. Now there are some sword breaking symbols on this dice. If I roll those sword breaking symbols, then my pickaxe break. If I don't, then my pickaxe will not break. I'm rolling to get either an extra flint or a piece of gold. So let's see what I end up getting. And I got a sword break, which means I have 1 sword break. The pickaxe has 2 swords though, so I still have 1 more sword break until it actually breaks. And I end up getting a flint. So now I have a flint and a stone. And that's my turn.
Alright, my turn. So I'm actually going to try to craft a axe, which is using flint and a stick.
This game is so much more fun when you know what you're doing.
Right, instead of just figuring it out.
I know.
And then I'm going to knock down some trees over here, so that's obviously going to bring that down. So I need 1 log.
1 log, boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
you got a
that's
second
2
log.
logs. Yeah, so I need 2.
That'll help a lot during nighttime. We're down to 1. Ooh, okay, so tomorrow is nighttime. So I think to be safe, I'm going to head back to base so we can use the campfire if we absolutely must. And I'm going to use one of the essences at home to gather a twig.
I'm also going to move to base.
So now it is a new day, and what's going to happen is there's a few things that happen. You have to move that to the next day. So we are now at nighttime. We also have to, what does that say? Is it lose 3 hunger?
Yeah, 3 hunger and 2 sanity.
2 sanity? Oh man, that sucks. Okay, so we lose 3 hunger, 2, 3, and we lose 2 sanity.
Which sucks for me because I get one of these guys.
Oh, so you have a sanity card now. Okay. And that really sucks because no, it doesn't suck because we passed the shadow phase. Shadow phase is part 3, but we are in the daily needs phase. So you don't have to worry about that arm until the next round is over. However, there is something we do have to worry about, and that is the weather card. So please go ahead and draw a weather card.
Okay. We've got glaciers.
Glaciers. Glaciers. Each character with a pickaxe may break it to gain 2 birch nuts and 1 rock. This is good for me. I just got 2 birch nuts and 1 rock because I have a pickaxe. So if you see that, the glaciers has 2 freezing as well as regrowth. So this is good. It's regrowth. We can move these all the way to the top. By the way, when I used the boulder, this should have gone down to here, but since we weren't at the end, so it doesn't matter. But now all of these go up, so they're all now refreshed, essentially. And we have 2 snowflakes. So, here's the thing. My beard goes up. I do get 1 snow prevention, but that's not enough to fully prevent it. Your beard also goes up. You get 1 snow prevention. However, if you donate a log to the campfire, we will survive this with no damage or hunger penalty.
Okay, well I will donate it, so where would I put it to
Just put it in the pile. Discard it. Alright, so you have put a log on the fire. That gives us 1 more snow protection, and we survive that event right there. Which is good, because that would have taken us down by 3 health and 3 hunger.
Yeah.
So that would have sucked. And that's the glaciers done, so now we have survived that, and now we are at nighttime. I am at 5 hunger, so I regen a reroll, which is great. I have 3 rerolls now. You didn't use a reroll, did you?
Nope.
Nice. Alright, and now we are on to nighttime. But I want a hammer because I can make the forge hammer if I really upgrade it with a log and a stone. So I need a piece of grass and I'm just gonna explore. Alright, let's go ahead and explore this way. Okay, I got a plains biome. Alright, I got a prairie and I got a piece of grass anyway. This is perfect. Let's see what happens. Mole worm. Okay, so now here's the thing about using actions. When it comes to crafting, I'm allowed to do it whenever I want. I can craft before the mole worm actually attacks me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, if you could hand me the recipe book, please. Sorry, you're kind of like the item person.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually go ahead and make myself a hammer real quick. This gives me the ability to attack things. As you see, I get a 1 star there. Now, how attacking in this game works is you either kill the enemy or you don't kill it. It's very interesting. There's no health bars or anything like that for any of the enemies. But now I have a hammer, so I could attack this mole if I really wanted to. But the mole attacks me first. I also have to get rid of a grass, a stone, and a twig. So there we go. To sacrifice these. Grass, stone, and twig. Awesome. And now, mole attacks me. Hopefully he doesn't steal an item from me. And he does not. Perfect. That's my turn done.
Probably 2 spaces up here.
You're going back up there?
Yep.
Okay. I can get you meat, but the mole worm will attack me. Okay, because I have a hammer, I can attack his burrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack his burrow. By the way, I should have put a die here. So what that means is I'm going to lower the fertility once here and attack his burrow. That gives me meat. If you could hand me a morsel, just a small morsel. We have a morsel here. And now, I'm gonna roll to see if I get an extra thing, either a birch nut or a whole moleworm, which might even give me a little bit more meat. And I got a 4, but I broke my hammer. I got the double sword, so I ended up breaking my hammer. That sucks. Rip the hammer. I was gonna try to go for the battle hammer, but I did not end up getting it. However, 4 does give me a moleworm, so nice. I killed a moleworm. Not the moleworm, but I killed a moleworm. And that gives me 1 mole, which I could eat for meat. He counts as meat too, so that's pretty good, actually.
I'm gonna just take some tears, which is the twig, and then I'm gonna try to roll for the grass. Nope, because I got the sun. 'Cause it's nighttime, right? And I can't use the sun.
No, yeah, you can't use the sun at daytime.
So it's just the twig, and then there's my turn.
All right. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to craft myself a football helmet, because I can actually, funny enough, you can see right here, the moleworm counts as a jerky somehow. And to make a football helmet, you need 1 jerky and 1... I don't have grass. I'm an idiot. I can't
I
make
have a
football.
grass.
Would you be willing to donate that grass?
That's fine.
I could get you meat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll trade
Trade
you.
it for meat.
Okay, I'll trade you meat for grass.
Okay.
Awesome. So now I use this grass and this moleworm to make myself a football helmet. I'm actually going to explore a little bit. Let's go down here, see what we get. And we got a swamp. Alright. Hand me a swamp here. I got fireflies. Interesting. Oh, fireflies are in the junk pile because we never get them. Alright, fireflies count as 1 torchlight, by the way. That's nice. And a birch nut if I really want them to. Ooh, we got a merm. Okay. Alright, mermy. Let's see if the merm does damage to me. Here we go. Alright, merm. As long as the merm doesn't break my armor, they won't do any damage to me because they do 2 damage. They do break my armor, however, I'm not letting that slide, alright? I'm going to re-roll. I'm not letting them break my armor. So I'm going to hit a re-roll, and I got the dodge.
Nice.
Okay. I did lose one of my re-rolls, though, so that was not a free event, but I'm not letting them break my helmet. I worked hard on that helmet, man.
So to tame the spider, I just need the meat, right?
Yes.
So then do I just take a spider card?
I believe so, and I don't think that counts as a turn for you. I think
Okay.
that's
So I'm gonna trade my meat for a spider, so can you hand me a spider?
Yes, so now you have a spider. So spiders give you 1 last die roll when you attack an enemy. So like, for example, this bee has 6 rolls.
So
Now it
5.
goes down to 4 rolls.
4 rolls?
Yeah, it minuses it by 2.
Oh, 2, okay. Well,
So
that's
if you get both of those spiders, you'll minus it by 4.
another forest.
Okay, that's the last forest. So this one must be a marsh biome.
So I get free stick. Oh no.
Oh, you got a pigman.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got a special attack and a regular attack, so both will hurt.
And this is where Oh, dodge!
Nice. All right, so
Let's
you get out of
go.
there without taking any damage. 'Cause I think I can defeat this spider, and you can still keep taming that spider. If I defeat this spider, it does kill it, and you won't be able to tame this spider. But if you can still tame this spider, because when you tame spiders, it doesn't get rid of them from the map.
Right.
If I defeat that spider, however, then I could get some silk, which will be helpful. So I think that's my goal, is I'm going to try to attempt to defeat that spider. However, first, I would like to get myself a proper weapon. I'm gonna go for a spear then. So I think I'm gonna head home, and I'm gonna be a piggy and use Base's saplings. So let's head back home, and I'm going to use an essence real quick and take a free twig. And then with that twig, I'm gonna make a spear. Never mind, I need grass for a spear apparently. Oh well, all right, that's my turn done.
Okay. I'm gonna move down. I'm gonna try to get that sanity so I can get rid of my monster. But first I get a birch nut. Might as well take that and then roll. Oh wait, wrong one. Alright, let's see. 3. Nice. I
You
get
got
plus
the sanity.
sanity.
Nice, look at you go.
And I can get rid of this guy.
I'm gonna go for the old farm. Okay, so I move up here and I'm checking the farm. So I'm gonna roll. If I get 0 or 2, I'm getting grass. If I get 3 to 5, I'm getting a radish. I'm really hoping for the radish here. I got 4, so I did end up getting the radish. This is epic. Oh yeah, you were.
Oh, yes.
Alright, so I got the radish. Worst comes to worst tonight, I can eat myself some beefy greens.
I'm gonna go to base. I'm going to get a piece of grass
Okay.
at base. Take that, and I'm gonna turn it into a trap.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and head home, and I'm going to stay here. I'm gonna use an essence. We're down to 1 essence remaining, but I'm gonna use that to get myself a piece of grass.
Sure, why not? I will take another grass.
Okay, you get 1 more piece of grass, and that was our last essence. So to get more essence, we need to get nightmare fuel. However, you got your sanity monster gone. Perfect. So we go through the sanity event and nothing happens, but we're now on day 3. So if you move that forward, we lose, what is it? 3 hunger?
3 hunger and 1 sanity.
3 and 1 sanity?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm at 5 sanity.
So I'm back at the monster.
I am at 2 hunger, which means I'm getting very dangerously close to starving. But I'm gonna keep myself close to starving. You know how I play Don't Starve. That's how I do it anyway.
I got my monster back.
You got your monster back? Oh yeah. Good thing it was after the sanity event.
Right.
We are going to move on to the next weather event. So please pull the next weather event.
Let's see what we got. Hypothermia.
Okay, how bad is this? Each character with an unprevented snow gets -1 reroll. But here's what sucks. We got the mass spoilage.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
So, now here's the thing though. This game is pretty forgiving. We can use our food before it spoils. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my birch nuts and radish and I'm going to cook it in a crock pot to actually get, if you could put those back for me. I'm gonna cook it in a crock pot to get beefy greens. So cooked food is actually immune to being spoiled. So I can keep this cooked food and it's totally fine.
See, I'm gonna just eat my pomegranate.
But you can eat your pomegranate to get rid of it. Sadly, we no longer have it for the bingo though, which kind of sucks. But now I have beefy greens with me, which also is a good healing source. So I might end up getting into a bit of combat in this next round. It is sad though. I kind of wanted to keep that radish, but oh well. Oh well. Okay. Moving on. I think we're good to go.
Sweet.
All right. I might go ahead and make a spear. Oh yeah, because my hunger was down all the way, by the way, I didn't get a refresh on my reroll. If I want my reroll back, I need to get my hunger back up. So I still only have 2 rerolls. I think I'm gonna go and try my luck at getting some flint. So I can either go for this one, which gives me a higher chance of getting flint, or this one. So I'm gonna go for this one because obviously the higher chance of getting flint. I'm going to attack the boulder, get a free rock, and hopefully roll good and get some flint and also not break my pickaxe.
Sun. But it's night. It does count as 0?
If it's during night rounds, the result counts as 0. Boom,
Look at that.
I get some flint anyway. I win the battle anyway. And I'm gonna use that flint to go ahead and turn my spear into a fencing sword. So I use 2 flint and I give away my spear to turn it into a fencing sword, which is such a funny thing to make because the fencing sword sucks in Don't Starve, but you know what? I'll take it.
Right.
That gives me 3 attack power, and I remove 1 attack from the enemy. So, that's good.
I'm moving up and I'm capturing that little bee. So I get a bee, and then I also get a roll to see if I can get a birch nut.
Yes, and don't forget, if you roll the broken swords, your trap breaks.
Oh, so 0. So, nope, just the bee.
Would you be willing to donate me 1 silk and 1 twig? Per chance.
Sure.
Because if I get a fishing rod, I can go fishing, which gives us fish meat, which is one of the things we need. And then if we get frog legs, we get a bingo. Okay, so I'm going to use the things that you just gave me to make myself a fishing rod. I'm going to head over to the merm over here, and then I'm going to remove one of the fertilities. Oh, I forgot to remove the fertility from, no, this one over here. Okay, remove that fertility. And then I'm going to roll to see if I get extra fish, but I get 1 fish and either a birch nut or an extra fish. I'm hoping for the extra fish. I got a birch nut, but honestly, that's fine. If we can get frog legs, we will have a huge victory royale. So I think next turn I'm going to attack the merm.
Oh, okay. All right, so then my turn. I'm gonna go here, get the birch nut, and hopefully get a sanity, because I would like a sanity. Let's see. Nope.
It is now my turn, and I'm going to attack the merm. So here we go. I am now engaging in combat. I'm going to be using my football helmet to block 2 damage, which, if the merm rolls bad and doesn't break my armor, that means the merm's going to do not any damage. However, the merm's going to roll 5 times. So, oh no, the merm's gonna roll 4 times because my fencing sword actually removes 1 roll from the merm. So the merm gets 4 rolls, I get 1 roll. I'm gonna go ahead and roll first because, you know, bias. And hopefully I get an extra star. So I have 3 stars. If the merm gets 3 dodges, then the merm does not lose, but I still end up killing... No, I don't end up killing the merm. I get 0, and basically I lose. So I'm hoping maybe I get an extra star.
You did.
Ooh, I did get an extra star, but that breaks my fencing spear. Okay, I'm gonna roll the merm real quick and see if I want to either re-roll my roll or the merm's roll. Because I can choose. I can pick and choose. Alright, merm, roll bad. Oops, wrong roll. Alright. I want to roll where the camera can see it. Okay, that's... Oh. That's a good roll for me. Okay, hold on. He got 1 miss and 3 special, but the merm doesn't have a special attack. So, he does break my football helmet. Oh, this is irritating. I lose both my fencing sword and my football helmet if I let this roll go through. I don't want to re-roll the merm's entire roll though. So I think I'm just going to re-roll mine and hopefully not... Oh yeah, by the way, that flipped over. It was a 4. Because he got 1 miss. So even if I roll without the star, I will still get a hit here. So I'm going to use my re-roll on myself and re-roll myself. I get the break again. Okay, I'm re-rolling again. There's no way I get it 2 times in a row. Come on, man. Okay, I got the star. That's fine. That's good. I still win because my 3 attack power beats his 1 dodge, or that he was at 1 dodge, because this was, I think this rolled over. This was at, it wouldn't even matter, I'd still win because 3 is bigger than 2. But yeah, he had 1 dodge, so my attack beats him. I kill the merm, he is now dead, which turns him into this creature, and now he no longer exists here. And I end up getting a merm card and a fish card. So if you could hand me a fish card, please. Now I'm hoping this merm card is frog legs. Perfect. All right, we got frog legs. That means we could have a bingo. I did lose my football helmet, sadly, so my football helmet is gone. Rip football helmet. But I kept my fencing spear. I have no more rerolls though, which is kind of scary.
Okay, so I'm gonna probably move up and get that pomegranate, and then roll maybe second pomegranate.
All right, go ahead.
Nope, no second pomegranate, unfortunately.
All right, we'll move 2, and that's my turn done. Crap.
Oh,
cool.
Okay, probably gonna move this way. Going to get that stick and hopefully some grass. 5. Yep, I got grass. That takes my turn, and that takes us down to 3.
Now, what's really nice about this fencing sword too is because I block 1 attack, whenever I explore and there's a hostility action, they only attack me once. So I block their hostility action. So whatever's here can't attack me because they only do 1 attack when they do a hostility action. So I flip this over, and of course we knew it was going to be a swamp. So go ahead and hand me a marsh, please. Muddy rubble. I get 1 flint. All right, come on. Please be a bat. I want a bat here. That's not a bat. Crap. Oh man. Well, he doesn't attack me because I have the fencing spear, so he's unable to attack me. However, this is not helpful to us in any degree.
I'm going to take my whole turn too and move right there.
Okay. But there's nothing here that tells me what that symbol does when there's actually... Okay, I think I can just do it. Which makes sense because in-game you can watch swamp battles and get free loot anyway. So I think what I'm doing right now is basically watching a swamp battle. So we're going to lower the fertility of this place by 1, and I'm going to watch a swamp battle essentially. Because there's nothing in the rulebook that says anything about it. So let's see, do I watch a merm die or a tentacle die? I'm kind of hoping for a tentacle. Because I wonder if that gives me a weapon. 3. That's a merm dying. I can't reroll, so I have to accept it. So a merm dies, and I take the merm, and I get frog legs. I have a lot of food.
Yeah.
Move down to the bird.
Okay, and I'm going to roll and get a flint if possible. So flint, yes. Alright. And then I'm going to make a spear out of that. So flint, stick, and grass.
So I think we're going to go... I'm going back home. I'm not risking it. Those weather events can be rough. I can make meatballs by getting rid of my fireflies and my birch nuts. Because for some reason fireflies count as birch nuts.
Oh, interesting.
And then getting rid of 1 of my frog legs. I get a meatball, which I'm going to then immediately eat. And get 3 hunger. 1, 2, 3, but somehow lose 1 sanity. So I'm gonna eat that after the sanity event, so I don't get a monster. Because I'm 1 away. No, I won't get a monster if I eat it right now. So I'm fine. Yes, it is now your turn.
Can you move me to base? And then I'm actually going to shave my beard so I can...
Do you have an axe?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Yep. And then, so we're going to go back down. I need my silk back. Gain sanity. Get rid of the monster.
Now we get a weather event. Yay.
There you go.
Oh wait, before we do the weather event, we have to do the daily needs. So we lose what? 3 hunger, 1 sanity?
Yeah. No, just 3 hunger.
3 hunger, 1... Okay.
Just 3 hunger.
What about the sanity? I thought I see sanity there.
Right here?
No, we're on day 3. So we do lose 1 sanity. So we lose 3 hunger, I go back down to 2 hunger, and I go down to 3 hunger, which means I now have a sanity creature on me, which is the hand. So that's gonna be fun.
Alright, so we've got Frostbite.
Now see, I have a beard of 2, so this frostbite does nothing to me. You just shaved your beard. So, well, here's the thing. You have wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have to get light to survive Charlie anyway, so if you spend wood on the fire, you'll survive this too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do.
Perfect.
Sound good.
So we survive frostbite, and you lose a wood. If you guys want to see frostbite, that's frostbite right there.
Again.
We both have sanity monsters now. This is great. All right, I'm down to 2 hunger, 3 sanity, 8 health. I haven't lost a single health yet.
I haven't either. Yeah.
All right, so we got... Okay, we're allowed to do this before the actual event takes place. I do have everything we need for a bingo. No, we don't need...
Okay.
I don't need the pomegranate.
So I'm going to eat a pomegranate.
Yeah, go ahead and eat your pomegranate. We have 1 frog leg, 1 fish food, and 1 honey. That gives us a bingo, which gives us a gold. Oh, gold could be used as rocks or flint.
Okay.
That's what's the fancy thing about gold. So that gives us 1 gold. And if we get 1 more, we get a bingo. I think we can get the same bingo again. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my fish. My beefy greens are good, they won't spoil. Cooked food does not spoil, but the fish does spoil, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat it. That's 1 more hunger for me. I'm back up to 3. However, I did not get any rerolls back because I'm not high enough on the hunger scale. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move down and over. That's my whole turn. Crap, poop.
Alright, I'm going to move over here. I'm going to roll my dice. Hope to get a sanity boost. Yes.
You got your sanity boost, nice. I'm going to go fishing, which gives me 1 fish meat, please. And I roll for an extra fish meat or a birch nut. I got a star, which means I get an extra fish meat.
I'm going to move over here. I'm going to catch that bee and then a birch nut maybe. Yep, I got a birch nut.
Did your
Yeah,
trap
honey.
break at all?
Oh, it did break, yep.
Oh. I'm gonna move over here, and I'm going to use my pickaxe to get a rock, and then roll for either a flint or a gold. I have so many. If you need flint or rocks, by the way, I've got so many.
Okay.
If you need them at all, trust me. I got you, though.
Yeah.
I got a gold, but my pickaxe broke, and I can't even re-roll it,
Oh,
so I
didn't
have to
write
live
it
with
down.
it.
I'm gonna move this way and get a pomegranate, and hopefully a second pomegranate. Yes, second pomegranate. Which then I'm going to make. What was that meal called again?
Fruit medley?
Fruit medley.
That gives you sanity.
Hmm?
I'm going to use one of my moves, then use my second move, which kills my turn.
Probably get wood. I feel like wood would be kind of beneficial. See if I get 1 or 2. I'm gonna call it 2.
All right, I'm gonna watch a swamp battle, which means I'm either going to get the frog legs, which, do you have honey?
Yeah.
Ooh. If I get the frog legs, we win the bingo and we move on
Sweet.
Here's the thing too, if I get the frog legs and we both head back home, we both get 3 hunger and 3 sanity,
Ooh.
which will be very helpful.
Yes.
Oh yeah, also we move ahead on this. So I forgot that's so 1 frog legs. We got a 1. That's a merm, which I believe is guaranteed. Frog legs. All right.
Nice. So then give you my honey.
I can't hold it, so just hold on to it for now.
Okay.
But next turn, head back to the home.
So this current turn, or the next one?
You can head back to it now.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's 2 rounds done. How much time do we have left?
Well, I just took my turn. You took yours.
Okay, I just took my turn.
Still 2.
So,
I take mine.
if you could hand me that honey, please. Perfect. So we are going to donate another line of bingo here. And we will get 3 hunger and 3 sanity each. So I go up to 6 hunger and 6 sanity. My sanity monster is now gone. Alright, now we get to move on. So we reveal card 505. Here we go. The guests are all here. The tables are set. This sure is one feast that they won't soon forget. But mirth turns to gasps as, to your surprise, they turn into beasts before your own eyes. You turn to the monarch. Protect me, he squeals. Thrice cursed buffet, it must be the meals. So, what's going to now happen is for each scenario marker on the pink squares, we will have to place a werepig down on the map tile. So here we go. We got 4 werepigs, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. If we defeat all 3 werepigs, or all 4 werepigs, we will get to move on to card 509, which I believe is the end of the game. But we have to defeat all 3 werepigs.
Right.
So, I'm going to throw this werepig here. I can throw them wherever I'd like. And they're not hostile unless you attack them.
Right.
So I throw this one there. I guess I'll just cluster them together. I think that's the smartest idea. So these werepigs have 3 attack power, and they get 3 rolls. Also, if they get their special attack, you lose 2 sanity. So they're pretty beefy. However, they only get 3 rolls when you attack them, so they're not that bad.
So is it the same rule where if you go there and you take an action, it's not going to...
No, yeah, they won't attack you. You have to attack them. So
I still haven't taken my turn yet.
No, yeah, you still have your turn for this round.
So can you move me down to the Terror Bird?
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to get that flint.
Okay, that's 0 to 4.
0 to 4, so 2.
So you got the flint.
Yep. And then if you can move the thing down.
Oh, yeah, the fertility.
Yeah. Then that's my turn.
Oh, yeah, also I ran the swamp out. I forgot to mention that.
And then we're at 1.
Awesome. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. If I could please have the crafting book. I'm gonna get to work on these werepigs. I've got plenty of health. I can handle it. They do 3 damage a hit, but I have, I don't have armor. I'm an idiot.
I've got a plan.
But, do you have silk?
I do.
Okay, can I please have a silk?
Yes.
Okay, because I can use this silk plus 2 of these rocks to make myself a marble suit. And it only breaks if they get a double shield break, which is pretty good. However, it does remove one of my stars. So here we go. I'm going to move to this one, and I'm going to attack this werepig. So he gets 2 rolls. I get 1 roll. And here we go. I get a 1. That's nothing. So I have 2 stars. If he gets 2 dodges, I'm screwed. And if he gets... Let's just hope. Okay! He got... That's perfect. He did nothing to me because he got 2 attacks, but I'm wearing Marble suit, so I blocked 2 of his attacks. He did get 1 shield break, but Marble takes 2 shield breaks, so the Marble did not break. And he got 1 dodge, but I have 2 attacks. So that means I have killed this werepig, and that's one of them down. I get a piece of meat. Nice. But as long as, I mean, most of the weather events are freezy. I'm wearing a beard, so I'll be fine. I have -2
I
freeze.
should be going on to beard here too anyway, so...
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna risk it. Can you hand me my guy? Put him
Okay.
right here. Okay, that causes that.
So now it is the sanity turn, but neither of us have sanity creatures. How much hunger did we lose today?
3.
3 hunger goes down today, so I'm back down to 3 hunger. I'm never getting my rerolls back because I'm not keeping myself well fed. Okay. Weather card.
Oh gosh. Snowstorm.
So we got a snowstorm. However, we did get a fertility bonus, so everything goes back to fully fertile. But we get wet.
What does that consist of?
Each character not on the portal tile -2 sanity.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
And we got wet, which is -1 sanity. So that's -3 sanity and 1 food spoils. Now see, the board game, you know, you could say this is cheaty, but they didn't say it in the rules. They did say you can use the food that's going to spoil in the rules, and maybe I'm just using the food that's going to spoil, so I'm gonna eat the fish, because that was the one that was going to spoil. I know I have meat, but but I'm just eating the one that was going to spoil, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
There you go. In your head.
But though I did just lose 3 entire sanity because of the wetness, so I'm down to 3. I do get a shadow monster, but because the shadow monster is no longer here. Oh wow, he steals your hunger. Or no, he steals more sanity from you. Interesting. Okay, but he doesn't affect me yet because we passed the shadow turn. And we are good.
Sweet.
We're good.
All
All right, that's that done. And now, because my hunger went up, I actually do get one of my rerolls back. Because my hunger's at 4 now. All right. Werepig gets 2 rolls because of my fencing sword. I get 1 roll. My marble takes my damage down, but he gets -2 attacks. You guys know the drill. That breaks my fencing sword. But it gives me 1 extra attack. I'm going to wait and see what he rolls until I do my reroll, because I do have a reroll. He breaks my marble suit. Okay. He does no damage to me, but he breaks my marble suit. I think I'm going to reroll my attack. Because no matter what, even if I get a bad roll, he will still... Oh, get this off. He will still lose. So I'm going to use my only reroll that I got. And I'm going to reroll myself. Okay, I only got 1 spear break, so that doesn't break my spear. I forgot to set that fertility up. He does break my marble suit. My marble suit is gone. Sad. But I keep my fencing sword, which is the most important thing. And the even more important thing is I killed him. So now I have gotten another meat. And that's my turn done.
Sweet. I'm gonna eat my 1 thing to gain back my sanity, which brings it all the way back up again, and a hunger. Then what we're gonna do? I'll get rid of this guy. Now I'm going to try to attack this guy with my spear and my 2 spiders. So I donate 2 of my spiders, which how many rolls does he get?
That means he gets 0 rolls.
Oh, so that means it's only me.
So that means you win right immediately.
Sweet.
So there you go. You just got another meat.
Nice.
Yeah, because if he gets 0 rolls and you have an attack power, then you immediately win.
I'm probably gonna trade that meat in for another spider too.
Okay.
I think that'll be.
Honestly,
Yeah, that's my turn.
are you going for that final werepig,
I can try ya.
or do you want me to go for it?
How about you see what you can do, and
If
I'll try my best.
if you give me a silk, I'll go for it.
Yeah, I can give you so.
Okay, because I can use that silk to make myself another marble armor. So I use the silk and the 2 rocks. Well, one of the rocks was gold. And I make myself a marble... Oh wait, this is your silk. I'll put it in a special pile. I use that to make myself another marble armor, so I get my marble armor back. And I will go after this werepig, but I'll have to do it next turn because I have to use both my turns to make it to him. Okay.
Do you want to battle it together?
Oh yeah, we could battle it together.
Because we can, because I have a spider and a spear, so...
Okay, so here's how joint battles work in this game. When somebody's battling, you can still join in and attack with each other. And what will happen is we sum up our total damage removal and damage done. So, if you have 1 spider, you have 1 spider, right?
Yep.
You have 1 spider, I have the fencing sword. Those combined make it so he can't attack us.
Mm-hmm.
So we immediately win. And that means we now move on to card 509. I don't think you need to keep the meat because card 509. The battle is over, the fighting is through, the king turns his back without bidding adieu. The pigs lift his rickshaw and rush down the hill, at least you've a moment to sit back and chill. All we have to do now is, how many turns do we have left?
4.
4? Well, let's use both of our turns to head back here. We win.
Oh, we won?
We won.
Nice.
We just won Don't Starve.
Look at that. What a fun little game.
And there you have it. Our first mildly scuffed run of the Don't Starve board game. Official, by the way. I still can't believe this is a board game. It's so weird. Now, it wasn't perfect, and like I mentioned before, we did forget that trading was considered an action, and the entire scenario phase was skipped, which kind of gave us a huge advantage. So I wouldn't submit this run to any leaderboards or anything, but hey, I was among the first to run it, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and check out the link below to support the development of this board game on Kickstarter. Now while you're over there, I'm going to go ahead and read the rule book a little bit more thoroughly, and maybe start plans for a proper playthrough when the board fully releases. See ya, everyone.